I have come to believe that a great teacher is a great artist, and teaching an art. Why? Since the medium is the human mind and the spirit. Teaching is a calling too. Abraham Lincoln, in his letter to his son's teacher, had written, "In school, it is far more honorable to fail than to cheat. Teach him to learn how to gracefully lose and enjoy winning when he does win. Teach him there is no shame in tears. Teach him to have sublime faith in himself, because then he will always have sublime faith in mankind and sublime faith in God." That's so very true. Now, reiterating the thoughts of Sister Shivani, I would just like to say that teachers in their own way are holy angels. Yes, I repeat, they are holy angels leading their flocks out of the darkness. One definitely looks back with appreciation at brilliant teachers, but one looks back with gratitude at those who touched our human feelings. The curriculum is so much necessary raw material, but warmth is the vital element for the growing plant and for the soul of a child. So let us now begin with our presentations to review our past and the plans of our future. First, we have a presentation by senior secondary school teachers who have the daunting task of making their students realize their cherished dreams.
I dreamt I stood in a studio and watched two sculptors there. The clay they used was a young child's mind, and they fashioned it with care. One was a teacher. The tools she used was books, music, and arts. The other, a parent, with a guiding hand and a gentle, loving heart. And when at last their work was done, they were proud of what they had wrought. For all that they had molded into the child could neither be bought nor sold. And each of them agreed they would have failed if each had worked alone. For behind the teacher stood the home, and behind the parent stood the school. A very good afternoon to all has been proved again this year by the brilliant result. Here is the glimpse of the outstanding result we have got this year. If you look at the statistics, out of all the students who appeared in board this year, about 40% of them scored above 90%, and about 60% of them scored above 80%. Congratulations to all of us present here. Many of the toppers have been Udgamites all throughout. This is the result of the cumulative efforts of all the teachers, right from the playgroup to the senior secondary.
We began our journey of annual teacher conference 3 years ago with discussion on measures to improve quality education. We reviewed those measures in the next year, and this year we focus on feedback of parents on various issues to improve quality education. Here is a quick look at the issues. In the first feedback, parents have suggested to include more of co-curricular activities to de-stress the students. We also believe that co-curricular activities can help a lot to reduce the stress which students go through while preparing their exams. We do conduct some activities like morning assembly for 11th and 12th, wherein students present speeches, plays, songs, they prepare innovative PowerPoint presentations, etc. We conduct seminars, which are sometimes related to academics, sometimes motivational, and sometimes general. Around Christmas, we organize food fiesta, wherein the response of the students is overwhelming. Some of the students have even said on records that Food Fiesta was the most memorable day. Field visits are planned, which apart from learning experience, are also a pleasant break from the regular classroom study. We also motivate the students to take part in inter-school competitions and National Science Day celebrations held at PRL. But having said all of this, we also feel that the students remain stressed due to exam preparation and preparation for the entrance exams. We plan to include meditation, pranayam sessions of few minutes every morning. We plan to conduct debates and quizzes on lighter topics, which will be a pleasant break from the stereotype. The teachers can also incorporate breathers or 1-minute games, which will be subject related at times when they feel the class needs extra stimulation. In the second feedback, the parents of students of 11th standard have pointed out that in the first test, which is of 70 marks for all the subjects, students were given 3 hours to write the paper. While in the second test, which is of 60 marks, students were given 2 hours. Hence, students were not able to finish the paper. We gave 3 hours in the first test because the subjects are new and the pattern is also new. And then the second test is planned exactly as per the board pattern. On an average, for an 80 to 90 marks paper, students are given 3 hours by the board. So accordingly, for 2 hours, we give for a 60 marks paper. Nonetheless, we may consider keeping 50 marks for 2 hours paper, and we may avoid long answer questions and shall include short answer questions.
In the next feedback, parents had an opinion that PE period should be given. Well, we do agree that education surpasses the 4 walls of the classroom and sports period does help them to distress. Last year, we have given PE periods to the 11th standard almost every week, and the 12th were given as and when possible. But it has been observed that most students themselves are not very keen to go out and play, and we actually have to motivate them to go out to the ground and play. Well, in spite of that, this year, we have included 1 PE period every week in our timetable, both for the 11th and 12th. We also have sports day exclusively for the 11th and 12th students. In the next feedback, a parent has brought to our notice that his daughter is a good singer and wants us to give her a chance in the annual function. Well, we don't have annual functions in the senior secondary. Nevertheless, we have given them chance whenever and wherever possible, like in the assemblies. We would like to mention here that most of the students themselves are not very keen to participate, and we have to probe them to do so. This year, we have also created a database about each student's talents and what they excel in, so that no child is left out. We can also give them a chance in special assemblies of Independence Day and Republic Day programs.
In the last feedback, parents have suggested to add more features in Udgam Connection, like fee status, reminder of check deposit. They have further suggested if school fee can be paid through mobile app. Also, if the result of each term and students' attendance register can be uploaded on the app so that there is no need to send a mail every Saturday. Our major concern here is not all the parents use Udgam Connection. Although during the orientation last year, we made the parents download the app on their phones, still the use is not frequent and widespread. We uploaded results on portal last year as well, and regarding the attendance register, we cannot share attendance of all the students with the parents, hence it has to be student-wise. I would like to conclude by quoting that customer satisfaction is the primary goal of every organization, which facilitates achievement of all other goals. We hope the feedback provided by the parents will act as a guiding factor to us to improve ourselves and be the best, which we are. Thank you.
Hello. I take the liberty to ask, anybody has question? So I take the liberty to ask this question. Is customer always right?
In the service sector, yes.
With the kind of competition that we face nowadays,
With?
we have to believe, that the customer is always right. We have to believe. It may be correct or not, but then because of the competition, we have to believe.
Or competition with whom?
With our counterparts,
Meaning other schools?
the other schools.
Okay. So did you do a study, do other schools give PE period or not? Okay. Still they chose Udgam school. So just a guidance. Customer is not always right, especially in things which are of technical nature. So for example, if you go and tell a doctor that I need a paracetamol, doctor says, no, you need an antibiotic. You do not, argue with the doctor. You take antibiotic and get out of his clinic. It's simple as that. So while I appreciate that whatever they have said is very good for they are reacting, they are understanding what parents are saying and they are trying to change, which is good. However, we have to stand by to what we believe in, and we just don't get swayed by whatever customer says is right. So tomorrow we will have a hospital which will give Coca-Cola in the glucose bottle, and there will be a patient lying and getting Coke instead of glucose. Why? Because that's what the customers want. Okay? So beware. I'm not saying anything is wrong here, but be aware that customer is not always right. So as far as PE period is concerned, it is an understanding for all of us, starting from playgroup to secondary, higher secondary. It is not always that we are looking for customer satisfaction. I would do, that's the simple thing which I would do. You go back to that slide. Oh, you cannot go back. Yeah, go back to the slide of 50 marks test, 60 marks test. I have an opinion. And that's how we need to run the school. We do not need to run the school by doing whatever the customer says. If they knew how to educate children, they would not come to us in the first place. Okay? But we cannot be so much adamant that even if we know, they don't come to us. Okay? So here's the case. While you said that 60 mark is according to board pattern, then why did you change to 50 marks?
So not for all the papers. There are some papers where we have 70 marks for 3 hours. So just to balance it.
Okay. So now what is the age of your children?
When they are in 11th?
In 11th? 16, 17, yeah.
Can you make them understand this? Or is it too difficult for them to understand?
We do.
So, there is the thing between customer satisfaction. One is enlightening them, and another is accepting their demands. So, I would suggest that in a case like this, this is a very important decision for any organization. What we are doing is, we are just making them not fast enough to answer in 60 marks in 2 hours. So anyways, there are some things we do not cross the line. Okay, we agree customers are to be satisfied and children are in secondary, the customers. They don't like to come to school, they will not come to school irrespective of whether the parent has paid a fees or not. But when we have to make them understand that this is how you are going to get evaluated, We can change, we can take 5 marks exam for 3 hours. We don't mind that. But the point is, what will happen when they go to the outside world? Who is going to listen to them then? So anyways, it's a wonderful presentation. What it missed is about some failures. Yes?
Yeah, we said that. We may consider.
Don't-
Whether we'll do it or not.
don't. No, rather than considering this suggestion, considering and enlightening them. Yes. No, there you have to make them aware that ये बाहर जाओगे तो क्या होगा?
That's
Yeah.
what.
So parents' queries does not mean that they don't like it. Parents' queries that means they're unaware. So parent, when they say that why don't you do this? So it's a time, either if we are wrong, we have to change it. If we are right, we have to explain it. That this is the reason why we have done it. So that's how we will build a school. Else we will get, our students will suffer in board exams. Anyways, so thank you. Any other questions anybody has?
And thank you, sir, for your valuable inputs. Learning is not attained by chance. It must be sought